Welcome to the ScotianCanadien studios, brought to you by nothing. Woo! If you happen to like this t-shirt, you can snag it on my Etsy store. The description is down in the comments. And if you share any of my recent videos, you'll have a chance to win this hat. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go.
Next up, we got Kirby Dach, centerman at 6'4", 217 pounds. He was acquired by the Montreal Canadiens on the draft floor in Montreal. That trade announcement was absolutely huge, and I was pumped to hear we acquired Kirby Dach. Let me tell ya. Now, I was sad to see Alex Romanov go. I was a huge fan of his physicality on the back end, but our defensive pipeline, especially on the left side, was so stacked and still is that we could afford to give up that price. So in a three-way deal, we shipped Romanov to the Islanders for the 13th overall pick in that draft, and then we sent it to Chicago for Kirby Dach. I am shocked that Chicago was trading him in the first place, but I'm very happy he landed in Montreal, and he has been very impressive in his short stint with the Canadiens so far. And I say short because even though he was acquired a couple years ago, he's only played one season. Like I mentioned, it's been a difficult couple years for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I was very excited for the Habs coming into last season. I was thinking they could overachieve a little bit, maybe push for a playoff spot. But Kirby Dach was going to be a huge part of that. And unfortunately, Game 2 of the season, you couldn't have scripted it any worse. Against his former team, the Chicago Blackhawks, he gets rubbed out along the boards by none other than former Habs pick Jared Tenorti and Dach. We don't need to relive the whole thing, but it was devastating. Tore his ACL and his MCL, out for the season. That was a gut punch to start the season for us Habs fans. He was already starting to show some significant chemistry with Juraj Slafkovsky, and losing Kirby really weakened us down the middle for the rest of the season. And I can only imagine how devastating it was for Kirby to have to sit there and watch the whole season. But to his credit and to the Montreal Canadiens' credit, they kept him involved all throughout the season. Kept him with his teammates. He watched practices. He was always in the room. He went on some road trips. And then towards the end of the season, he was on the ice practicing in a full contact jersey. So that is massive that he got some practices in before the season closed. Now, Kirby as a player, he is a big, strong, physical centerman. He's got speed up through the middle. He is great on the power play, working that half wall, distributing pucks. Fantastic playmaker. This is the type of player, as long as he pans out to what he should be as a former third overall pick, this is the type of player you need somewhere down the middle as a championship quality team. I have high hopes for Kirby, and I can't wait to see what he does healthy going into next season. Now, my question for you here is, can Nick Suzuki and Kirby Dach be that 1-2 punch down the middle on a championship caliber hockey team? I'm talking a team that can win the Stanley Cup. Can Kirby Dach and Nick Suzuki be those two guys? Or does the fact that Kirby missed a lot of development time over the years, don't forget he had that hand injury back in the World Juniors as well that stunted his time with the Chicago Blackhawks a little bit. Does that and the knee repair concern you with him? That is my question to you.
I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, you can watch this entire Habs fan reaction series ad-free on my YouTube page. Go Habs, go, baby!